Don't you hate it when you're playing a game and you are absolutely killing it? You're destroying it. Your opponent doesn't stand a chance. The only problem is at the end of the game, you find out you did one rule wrong. And because of that, you lost. When it comes to interacting with a covert narcissist, you can feel like you are in a game. And if you don't know this one specific rule, you will lose every time. What's the rule, you ask? It's the age-old classic double standard. Now, what does this look like when actually played out in a relationship or just in regular life? We're going to look at 3 specific areas that covert narcissists love to target when it comes to having a double standard. The first one is your freedom. Take a look and compare whenever you're looking at their freedom versus yours. Are the scales balanced when it comes to what you are allowed to say without repercussions, what you're allowed to think, and what you're allowed to do? Are you constantly living in that fear and walking on eggshells because you do not have freedom to go out because your covert narcissist needs you to stay with them? You don't have the freedom to express the way you really feel or believe about something because you know that you will get backlash from that. And you don't even have freedom to think the way that you want to think because you'll pay the price if you disagree with your covert narcissist. If you're feeling this way, then you are not living in freedom in this relationship. Not only that, but take a look at the other side. Check and see for yourself, do they have a double standard? What are they allowed to speak and get away with? Are they allowed to not only disagree with you, but even say things that are hurtful or demeaning, but still not really have any remorse or be sorry about it? Are they allowed to do all their hobbies and go out as they please? Because that's their right, they're entitled to that. Are they allowed to even disappear without telling you where they are? And it's not a problem because that's what you've gotten used to in this relationship. They have the freedom to go and do and be as they please, but you absolutely do not. What about having their own thoughts and opinions on things? Even if they are abusive, volatile, divisive, do they walk in the freedom to express that without worry of any repercussions? Check this relationship and see, is there a double standard? Are they allowed to speak, think, and do as they please, no matter what you say in response? And what about you? Are you walking on eggshells and constantly in fear of saying, doing, or thinking the wrong thing? That you will get in trouble, that you will cause that person to have an outburst or get very upset or give you the silent treatment. That is one huge double standard to look out for, is in the freedom that each of you have. The second one to look out for is finances. When it comes to having access to the money, when it comes to knowing how much is going in or going out, when it comes to freedom to spend, how do the scales look? Do you feel constantly inhibited, fearful, and restricted of spending any little thing, even normal things that people would buy, because you know that that person is not going to be happy with you? Does that person keep the finances a secret? And then take a look at their lifestyle. How do they spend? How do they access the money? Do they spend freely without any worries or cares? Does the money usually go to the things that they enjoy? The types of vacations you do together, is it mostly the things that they like to do? The hobbies. Look for that double standard, that they have access to the money, that they can spend as they please, and they don't have to divulge details. But if you do not have the same access, if you do not have the same freedom, if there's always an excuse to not be able to spend money on the things that you enjoy, watch out for that. The third double standard to look out for is in the area of forgiveness. If your person harms you on a regular basis and you are expected to forgive them over and over and over, you are not allowed to bring up any past experiences. You're not allowed to even bring up what happened last week because you're expected to forgive and forget. You're expected to wipe the slate clean, even if it's this repetitive cycle that happens daily. That is not fair to you. That is not a realistic expectation. If when this person harms you, you are constantly getting criticized for not forgiving them for harming you over and over, that's not a healthy relationship. And of course, there's going to need to be forgiveness for things that happen. But when this person has a cycle of harm and it's the same issues and they do not stop and they do not feel sorry, but still you are expected to forgive, that's a warning sign. Also, take a look at the other side. What about forgiving you? Anytime you do something that they don't like, do they love to bring it back up? Do they love to rub your face in it? Do they constantly make you feel less than for any little thing that you have done? Do they expect forgiveness every time for the way they harm you, but you get no forgiveness for even the most smallest of offenses? Do they hold it over your head to constantly remind you, to make them feel like they are up top and you are down below? Basically, is the forgiveness totally one-sided? The issue of double standard can go across the board, and it most likely will be with a covert narcissist when you're dealing with almost any area of the relationship. These are just 3 specific areas that are really easy to pinpoint and see specific examples of, but pay attention. Do the rules apply only to you in certain situations, but never to them, and vice versa? Look at what is expected out of you versus what is expected out of them as far as contributing to the relationship. Not every person that uses a double standard is a covert narcissist, but every covert narcissist will have a double standard. They will always think that they should get the pass, that they should get the special treatment, and no matter how hard you try or how well you do, you don't deserve that same treatment. So please, in any relationship, pay attention to this, check the scales, because this is no way to live. If you're looking for other signs that you might be with a covert narcissist, please watch my last video. It will really paint a very vivid picture of what it's like to be in a relationship with one. It plays out a specific narrative of the way a covert narcissist thinks in a relationship, and it will really give you some insight there. I'm Jamie Lynette with Jamie Lynette Coaching. In the spirit of not losing this game that the covert narc loves to play, of having a double standard, let's move forward together.